Hello everybody, welcome back to My Big Sister Podcast. My name is Grace and this is my big sister Josie.
Hello everyone. In today's episode, a bit of a random one, but we thought it would be a good idea to discuss whether you should get a dog with your boyfriend.
We're going to talk all about like moving forward, going into like your maybe late 20s with your partner, whether you should get a dog, people questioning whether
Not
you
that we
should
know anything about cats.
like, should you get a pet before you want to have kids?
Yeah.
Should you get a pet with someone you don't live with? Just like, yeah, all that sort of stuff. I feel like it is something that now I'm like 23, I feel like a lot of people have now moved in with their partners and then they're talking about getting pets.
It's like the next thing that you do after you moved in.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that and just like kind of all the life stages and yeah, whether you should get a pet with someone that you
And the reality
are dating.
of getting one.
Yeah, so yeah, I hope you guys are having a really good week and let's get into it.
So you've just moved into a house with your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Are
We've
you
actually been living
thinking...
here for quite a while now.
Well, yeah,
like
true.
6 months.
Are you thinking about getting a dog?
No.
Oh.
I really think like I love pets and like we've grown up having lots of pets in our family home. We actually didn't have a dog for like most of our childhood and then we got a dog like in the past like 10 years. But we also had like chickens, didn't we, at some
guinea
point?
pigs and
rabbits, all sorts. Fish. Yeah, we never had a cat,
Hamsters.
but we had, and then we had a family dog. But I love pets and like I love dogs. Like I'm definitely more of a dog person than a cat person. But yeah, since I've moved in, especially to like the house that we've moved to, all my friends and like family keep being like, are you gonna get a dog? Are you gonna get a dog? Because I feel like people know obviously that me and my boyfriend, we both love dogs. But it seems to be a question that everyone's asking.
And because you work from home as well, it kind of makes it easier as well.
Yeah, and obviously because now we've got a garden. But I do really think, like, I really don't want a dog. Like,
really? Because you know the true responsibility of having one.
Yeah, and, like, I feel like so many people, like, just decide to get a dog with their boyfriend because, like, it's cute and, like, it's a fun thing and it kind of feels like, you know, you're doing something together and it's kind of, like, something you maybe want to do before having kids to, like, kind of test the waters and stuff. But I really think like having a dog is such a big responsibility and I'm just not ready for that right now. Like I love just going to bed and like, you know, if I get back late from like a work event or something, just getting into bed and like just, you know, not having to take the dog out for a wee and like, you know, sometimes I like to have a lie-in on the weekend and not have to like wake up and take your dog out and like and when it's like cold and like raining and dark in the morning, I that would be my worst nightmare, having to get up and take the dog out for a long walk. Like I think I'm just a bit too like selfish right now in my life and I feel like your 20s are a time you should like be selfish and like have that time to yourself. So I feel like right now I just am too kind of selfish to be, and like to, you know, you could just randomly go on a holiday or like I can just decide to like go to London and stay in a hotel with my friends and not have to worry about like anything else. Whereas I feel like once you have a dog it's like, oh, we've got to like, what do you do with the dog? Like we've got to think about this a lot more and there's a lot more responsibility.
It's good that you know that, because I think a lot of people, especially if they haven't had one or known people who've had one, just don't realise that sort of responsibility. Like you know it in theory, but in practice it's so different to actually having one. Like you can't really leave home for longer than like 6 or 7 hours without, you know, some people even say like you shouldn't leave them for more than like 4 hours, but I feel like with my dog she can handle 6 hours, but I wouldn't want to do anything longer than that. So then I always have to get someone to come and look after her or watch her. So I got our dog in January 2020, which was quite a weird time to get one because we didn't know that COVID was coming at that point. So she ended up being a COVID dog, but we didn't intend to have her be a COVID dog.
What made you actually get a dog? And how long had you been with your boyfriend when you got a dog?
So I think, well, we would have been living together for like 2.5 years at that point. So quite a long time. And I think it was kind of that thing of, we maybe would have started thinking about having kids, like as in some of my husband, because my husband is like 5 years older, so a lot of his friends were having kids at that point. And so I think that was kind of like our alternative, because like we weren't ready to have kids. We were like, oh, maybe it's time to have some sort of responsibility. And it was like definitely together. More me pushing for it. I think I just really wanted one. I just suddenly got it in my head that I really wanted one, and I just became obsessed with it. I started watching all these like dog training YouTube videos, and I was like, I just want one. So I did all the research and like found one, and my other concern was I have allergy, like I'm allergic to dogs. So that was why we didn't
You needed to get
a rescue dog, because I actually ideally would have liked to get a rescue dog, but because it was our first dog, and obviously a lot of rescue dogs need a lot of like people who really know how to look after them, I was a bit worried about that, and also the allergies.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I got a hypoallergenic dog breed, but the irony is I was still allergic to her. And so the first like few months of having her, because I think she was 8 weeks when we got her, which I think is the youngest you can get, like that's sort of allowed. I was allergic. I was really stressed because she was like peeing and pooing everywhere. I felt really ill because I just was really allergic to her. And also dogs, when you first get them, before they've had their vaccines, you can't take them outside. So they have to go to the toilet in your house. So obviously we had a balcony, so we had the pee pads and stuff out there, but it does get a bit gross, and there's nothing you can do about it because you can't take the puppy outside when they're really young before they've had their vaccines. And so it feels like you've got a newborn baby.
And like waking up in the night as well.
And like it will be whining in the night. And I was very strict I wanted to keep her like not in our bedroom because of my allergies. So that meant that we had quite a long time of her like whining through the night.
It makes you feel sad, doesn't it?
I know, and it was quite hard. Like, and if she was whining a lot, I would go out and sort of reassure her and calm her down, and then go back into the bedroom. So I wasn't like leaving her for hours and hours because I wouldn't have been able to sleep through that. But I just remember my friend Eleanor came round and she looked at me and she was like, "Are you okay?" Because I was just like frazzled. I hadn't had a shower. I hadn't been outside because I'd just been trapped inside with this dog, and I was really ill. And so I felt like I was a parent of a newborn.
And the thing with dogs is like, with a baby, they eventually grow up and like take care of themselves. But with a dog, it's like, obviously it's harder when they're a puppy, but like you still have to take care of them their whole life. Like you have to remember to feed them and, you know, take them out like constantly for like 10 years.
And also, I'm not saying that a dog is harder than a baby, because obviously it's not, but there are some things like you can't take a dog on a plane with you. You can take a baby on a plane with you. You can't take a dog to most restaurants, but you can take a baby to a restaurant. So actually a dog like kind of limits where you can go. And obviously you can leave a dog at home and you can't leave a baby at home. So that's one benefit of having a dog. But it's still really stressful. And I remember the first time that I fully left her at home, I had this camera that I'd bought, that I'd set up, and I literally ran to the supermarket and ran back because I was so stressed about leaving her, because I just hadn't ever done it before, and I was like constantly checking on the camera. And she was fine. She wasn't even that stressed. So eventually I got used to it, and she's fine to be left, and like she doesn't have separation anxiety or anything, but
I think that
it's still really stressful.
I feel like it is a big thing though with people. I feel like a lot of people my age that have dogs like get so anxious about leaving them, and I think it's hard when it's like this is the first thing in your life you've ever like had to look after really, and like you become so anxious about it, and like then it can like rub off on your dog, and like it can like especially when they're puppies, like you can end up like like not leaving the house much because you're so worried about
and I think
the dog.
A lot of dogs, like if they have issues, it's usually a reflection of those.
Like the owner passes on their anxiety onto the dog.
And I think during COVID, I was quite anxious, and I think Winnie became quite anxious because I was anxious, and I think it kind of rubbed off on her a bit.
Definitely.
But she's a lot more chill these days. Like she just sits around and doesn't really do that much. And
I think one thing people don't think about as well is how much it costs as well. Like you don't realize, like at first when you have a puppy, it might not be a lot, but like when our family dog Poppy was getting older, like her health insurance was so much per month, and you've got to think about that, and like all the vet bills and stuff. Like as they get older, they can have like health conditions.
Vet bills are ridiculously expensive. Like so Winnie is my dog, and she was a bit sick. Well, she just had a bit of a funny tummy, and I don't know, she just wasn't seeming well. She was a bit off her food, so I took her to the vet. They literally put her on the table, felt her stomach, and like checked her eyes, and gave me some painkillers. That was £100. Like it's just a joke.
Yeah, it's so
they didn't
much
even
money.
really do anything, and
yeah.
£100 is just gone. So you have to be like willing to pay that money, and like you have to make sure that you are in a financial place where you can do that. Like dog food isn't too expensive really, like you can buy a big bag of dog food for quite cheap, but it's more like all the other things, the vet bills, the grooming, that can add up, especially if you have a breed that needs a lot of grooming, and you have to be careful to like brush them all the time, and
also paying for like a dog sitter when you're on holiday and things like that can like be really expensive.
That can be quite pricey.
It can cost like the same cost as your holiday to just send your dog to like a dog sitter.
So think about if you have someone like maybe a family member, aka sometimes I get Grace to do it and she gets annoyed.
I always end up looking after
who can
Winnie.
do it for free, like that can help obviously, and like my mum will always look after Winnie because she loves Winnie, so that's helpful. But yeah, it can be really expensive if you don't know anyone who can look after your dog.
I think it can be a big thing though, like when you move in with a partner and you want to get a dog, like I feel like people just assume like, oh, it's going to be a cute thing and like it's a nice thing, but then I actually know quite a lot of friends who have then broken up, and like and then it's so like awkward when you're so young. It's like, what do you do with the dog? And like a lot of the time you're signing up for like half of the cost and half of the responsibility, but then you've got to think like you could end up splitting up, and then who, you know, can you afford to pay the vet bills and everything, or just on your own, or like who's going to end up with the dog like if you guys split up? And it's the same with any pet really. But yeah, and I always think as well, like if I'm in my 20s getting a dog, like dogs live about 10 years, and then it's like it's going to be quite upsetting like when the dog passes away, and like if you have little kids then like it's just a lot of like pressure and stuff of like
it's a big chunk of time of your life. Like so much has happened even since I've had Winnie, and also we like shipped Winnie from Australia to the UK, so she's lived in both countries with us, and she's just always been
and that
there.
costs a lot of money. So
that
you've
costs
got to
so
think
much money
as well. Yeah, getting a dog, like if you're in your 20s and you're wanting to go traveling, like you basically can't really have a dog, or like your dog would have to go live with, I guess, your parents for a long time if you're going traveling. So it's like not just your responsibility.
If you're someone who loves going traveling, don't get a dog.
And loves going on holidays.
You have to be kind of in a time of life where you're just at
more
home,
quiet.
You're going to work, whatever, but you're not constantly going off like all the time.
I would say like I think I would like to get a dog like when I'm like maybe thinking about getting kids like as like a test run, but then also I think would I want like a puppy if I'm pregnant and like with a newborn baby, like having to also deal with a young dog, so that would be also double stressful. So I don't really know.
Do that.
And then I think about like having to look after a dog and kids, and it's like that sounds very stressful, so maybe I would wait until the kids are a lot older to actually get a dog.
I think it either needs to be like the puppy is a bit older before you have kids, or the kids are a bit older before you get a puppy.
Definitely.
You don't want to do both at the same time, because it genuinely does feel like you've got a newborn.
It's like
when
Marley
you have a
and
puppy.
Me, where the dog is just crazy.
And they are very bitey. They will bite you.
Yeah, it can be like dangerous.
And you can't really stop them doing that. Like all puppies
when
will
they're
try
like
and bite
teething.
you with it. Or even just like they'll just try and nip you, and you have to teach them that it's painful and that they shouldn't do that, but they just don't realize, because when they're playing with their little puppy friends they bite each other, and that's just normal, but they can't do it to humans, because humans feel a lot of pain when they get bitten. I always
wonder like what do the dogs think, like do they think they're a human, or like do they know they're a I guess they know they're a dog because when they see other dogs they know that it's like
well, sometimes I look in the mirror with Winnie and I think, what is she thinking? Like I look at her through the mirror and I'm like,
does she know that's her?
Does she know that's her? And does she know that I'm her like dog parent, but also I look different to her? So does that confuse her?
Does she think that you birthed her, like, or does she understand that her birth mom is like not you? Like,
or I don't know. I feel like maybe they just don't think about it that hard. I wonder what the psychology is behind the dogs. But
there must be like research about it, but I guess they can't really know, because like dogs can't talk.
Have you seen those dog buttons?
Yeah, well,
they're crazy.
Winnie used to have them, didn't she?
Yeah, so we actually got them, and she actually did start to learn some of them. So she would learn outside. If she wanted to go on the balcony, she would press outside, and then we taught her like some emotions.
So I think you should get the buttons back. You need to get some more buttons.
And we taught her mum and dad. And now she actually does. So we got rid of the buttons when we moved, because they were just a bit like falling apart and stuff. But I would like to get them back. But she does now know some words that were on the buttons. Like I'll say cuddle with mum, and she jumps on the sofa and cuddles with me, and it's so cute.
Well, it's like, wasn't it that dog in lockdown that like had so many buttons?
Yeah, Bunny.
I wonder what that dog's up to nowadays.
It's still going.
Still going.
Bunny now has a brother as well.
Doesn't Bunny have like 100 buttons as well?
Yeah, like
and
loads,
it like forms
sentences. And it says things. It asks like existential questions.
Yeah, it says like, what am I?
Yeah. And it also makes up new words based on the words it already has. So it knew how to say water bird, which meant swan and stuff like that.
That's weird.
So it starts making new words with the buttons. It's kind of crazy.
It's like a science experiment. I'm gonna go search Bunny on TikTok after this. But I used to get a bit creeped out by Bunny, and then I'd get all these edits on my TikTok about like Bunny is evil, or, like Bunny. You know, people
Bunny
say
is plotting to kill
when it's
its
like
owners.
when it's like a poodle cross, they sometimes look a bit like human, or like they look a bit like a human in a fursuit.
Or they say like find the zipper.
Yeah, people would like make edits of like him looking like creepy. So that's when I stopped watching Bunny, I think, because I started to get a bit creeped out by him.
He's cute.
But yeah, I'm gonna search him back up after this, and I want to see what he's up to. And do you think once you got Winnie, like you felt more like you're definitely gonna stay together with your boyfriend, or like do you think it could make your relationship worse, or like do you think, I guess in a sense it's almost like it's almost similar to like getting engaged, because you're kind of saying we're going to be together for at least 10 years, like, or like you're hoping to, because we're getting a dog together, and like the dog's going to live for 10 years.
I guess it is,
so
quite a big commitment.
It's kind of like a promise of like we're going to stay together for at least this much time.
Well, I guess for us, like, I'd move to the other side of the world to be with him, so
you were already pretty committed.
There was quite a lot of other issues that would happen if we broke up.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have to move back to the UK and stuff. So yeah, we were quite committed at that point, but I do think it is quite a big commitment. But then it's not as much as like a kid, because you legally don't have any responsibilities, like technically
like you could just split up and not see the dog again. One of you
has the dog, but I guess you have to think about that. And also just the day-to-day responsibilities, like it can cause some arguments.
Definitely,
like if you don't have a clear like who does what at what time,
and like a schedule.
But I think for now, like we've just sorted it of like I deal with her like in the morning, and then my husband like takes her for a walk after work. So that kind of works, because I'm more of a morning person, he's more of a night person. Like he likes to go for a walk after dinner, whereas I don't want to leave the house after dinner. I'm like, I'm staying in now.
And also safety is, you know, can be a bit scary as a woman going on walks alone.
I wouldn't want to go down the canal
like
at night time. But I like waking up early and like going outside first thing in the morning, so that kind of just works for us. But yeah, I think like trying to figure that out before, I mean obviously you don't really know like how it's going to work until you have them, but I think having that discussion and just making sure you're on the same page of like who's going to feed them, who's going to walk them, and in order for them to not have accidents in the house, you have to have a very strict routine, and you have to make sure you're always aware like how many hours ago did she last poo and pee or whatever. Like you kind of need to always be aware of that, so you have to be committed to like the mental labor of having an animal. Like it is quite a lot of like mental stuff, but you get used to it after a while and it just becomes normal. But to start off with, it is a bit like, oh God, like we actually have this responsibility now. Like we actually are trapped, like not trapped, but we can't just go off on holiday without organising who's looking after her and things like that. It is suddenly like a responsibility that if you've not had it before, it is a bit like confronting at first.
Yeah, and I think like especially getting a dog like in your early 20s, I would kind of be like a bit worried, you know, because you can't go on holiday all the time and like go travelling, and even just working, like if you're working in an office 5 days a week, it's kind of it's a bit tricky. You can't leave your puppy like all day on their own, so you've got to figure out like with you and your partner, like if you work, like who's going to be taking their lunch break to drive home and take the dog out, or like things like that, or like can you take your dog to your office or things like that. It can be like a big thing. And I think some people do get pets maybe as like an attempt to like fix a relationship or to like, you know, hope that it kind of means like, oh, we have to stay together now because we've got this pet. But I think that is just going to end in disaster.
I think
like,
if
that
your
is not a good reason to get a dog.
If your relationship is already on the rocks, and getting a dog is just going to send it to the grave, I think.
Yeah, honestly, like, yeah, I think when you get a pet with a partner, like, you should always expect the worst and just think, okay, if I do end up just on my own with this dog, like, would I be happy with that?
Yeah.
And if you wouldn't, then maybe you should not think about it.
Yeah, because they, like, dogs really attach themselves to whoever they're with, so you don't want to be like constantly changing things up all the time.
Yeah.
Stressing them out.
Have you seen the like TikTok trend of like people with their like stuffed animal, and they'll be like, it's another stepdad for my stuffed animal, and it's like that with a dog. Like, if you had your own dog, like, if you have all these different boyfriends coming in, it's like the dog's getting confused.
Yeah, and like some dogs also are a good judge of character.
Yeah.
So that is one benefit actually of like, you could introduce, if you do end up dating other people, introduce your dog to the new people.
Yeah.
And then if the dog likes them, then you're good. If the dog doesn't like them, maybe be a bit cautious of those people.
What do you think about getting a dog if you're like single in your 20s?
It's a good question. I think it depends on your lifestyle. Like, if you love going out all the time, then it's not going to work because you need to have someone at home all the time. But if you're someone that loves just staying at home and like having your friends around, or just going out for like short meals and stuff, and like, yeah, you love nature and stuff, I think it could be good.
Yeah.
But I think it's a big commitment. Like, you've got to be willing to do 2 walks a day, taking them out for a wee multiple times a day, and just like, they're just always going to be there. There's not really any escape from it. So that could be nice because it's like company. But especially if you work, like, I actually don't really understand how people do it, really. I think if you work from home, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
It's really tricky.
Yeah,
with
definitely.
just one person, I would imagine.
Yeah, but I can also imagine it would be very nice company. Like, if you live alone, it would be nice to like come home to a dog that's excited to see you. What do you think about people that want to get a dog when they don't live with their partner?
Oh, what? And they would like have it go between different places.
I feel like that happened. Like, there was some people in my school year that like had a dog. Like, I don't know, maybe it was more
Surely
just a family dog. Yeah, but like it would go between the houses.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like it is a thing people do. And maybe like cats as well. I feel like are more kind of chill, so it's more like of a thing.
Well, I think that could be useful because then you have 2 places that it can go.
But also, I'm like, the dog would be confused. Like, where does it live?
I think dogs are quite adaptable to things like that. Like, Winnie's always going to Mum and Dad's house, and she seems quite happy with it.
Yeah.
But I think maybe, I don't know, like, I don't think having a dog, if you're in 2 separate houses, is an indicator that it will work when you then go and live together, because it's quite different. Like, I don't know, living with your partner is like a whole other topic, but I feel like that is so much more intense and quite different. But I don't know.
Well, I think just living together in general is like a lot, and like you've got to really think. It's the same way, like, think before you get a dog, you've got to think like, if me and my partner did break up, can I afford the rent on my own at least for like a month or 2 before we figure things out? And like, it's the same with a dog. Like, you've got to figure out what you do if you do break up. And like, obviously you don't go into a relationship thinking, oh yeah, we're going to break up, but like, you've got to think about, like, if the worst happens, like, am I able to like pay my bills and pay for the dog and everything like that?
Well, yeah, because like, there's other things that can go wrong when you're living together and then you break up. Like, a lot, I've known people who have stayed living together while they're broken up.
I know, that is, well, people have to do it these days because house prices are so expensive. Like, most people can't afford to rent a 1-bed place.
If you're stuck into a rental contract and you can't really get out of it, and neither of you want to like leave, because that would be pretty bad on the other person if you just suddenly disappeared. Like, it's really tricky, and I don't really know how people deal with that situation.
I know, it's really hard, and like, it's kind of sad how like, in this day and age now, like, if you're thinking about breaking up with your boyfriend, you're gonna have to think in your head like, oh, maybe I should wait until our contract's coming up to like bring this up with him, or like, you've got to kind of, factor that all in, and like, maybe you actually can't afford to live on your own, so you, like, some people do stay with their partners because like, they forgive things that they wouldn't normally forgive just because they can't afford to move out on their own,
because sometimes the option is just that or going back into a share house. And I think when you've been living with your partner, for me personally, I just loved that so much more than being in a share house with lots of people, because it can be quite chaotic living in a share house, and like there's just so many different personalities to contend with and stuff, whereas when you're just with your partner, it's like easier because it's just
more like calm.
There's just two of you, so it's not, and you can kind of have debates about things without it turning into like an awkward like friendship argument. I feel like it's easier to have an argument with your partner and then like reconcile, but I feel like when you have a big argument with a friend, like it can be a bit hard to kind of come back from that sometimes.
Well, because like if you're like annoyed at your friend about like something in the house, like they're not cleaning or whatever, it's like, well, we could just never see each other again after. Like there's sometimes it's like, well, why would I bother to like...
It's less commitment.
Yeah, like to fix this. Whereas when you're in a relationship living with someone, it's like, of course, we're going to try and fix this problem. Whereas sometimes with friends, it's like, oh, I actually don't want to fix this because I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, because
like,
with friends, you've got like a lot of different friends usually.
Yeah,
whereas with
like,
a partner, usually it's just one of you.
Yeah,
so there's more at stake.
Definitely, yeah. One thing that I think is weird though when you move in with a boyfriend is I remember thinking this, like when I first moved in with my boyfriend like 2 years ago, was like, I probably, well, hopefully now I'm going to live with him forever. So then it's like, now I never have the chance to live with friends, which I think it can be like a big part of your 20s, like living with friends. And like when you watch like the TV show Friends, like it's like a big thing of like living with your girlfriends and like, you know, all those like friendships and everything. So sometimes people that move in together so young, it's like, can be a bit sad because it's like I'm kind of skipping a step of like living with friends, which I think can be like a nice time.
Yeah, and it is nice.
But then I think I am such like a control freak and I love cleaning. Like I'm literally Monica from Friends, and I really don't think I would have actually enjoyed living with my friends. Like I feel like a lot of my friendships might have got worse like if I lived with them.
You would be the annoying
housemate. I would annoy them all so much that they wouldn't want to be friends with me, whereas it's better if I just see them like once a week, you know. I think like small doses.
What about people who have a dog in a share house?
Does that happen?
Yeah, I've known it to happen.
Really?
Yeah. And usually it's like one person owns the dog, but like then they all kind of share the responsibility and stuff.
I feel like having a cat in a share house is more like a thing people do, but I really don't love cats. No offense to anyone
this is
cats.
One thing that we've been wondering whether we should even discuss, because I
don't want to offend anyone,
listeners.
But I'm just not. I think we've just grown up like not with cats at all, and like I just don't love them, and like I don't really know how to act with them.
Yeah, I get scared that they're gonna like scratch me.
Like I feel like if I spent more time with cats, I would probably like them because I do like most animals. But I think I'm just like a bit scared because I've never really been around cats. So like when a cat comes, I'm like, oh, are you about to like scratch me, or are you being nice like and cuddly? Like it's kind of hard to gauge what they're thinking. Whereas I feel like with dogs, you kind of know the vibe. Like if they're about to bark at you, you shouldn't go near them. And,
I think that's the thing is I just don't understand what they're thinking, because with a dog, they're so insanely happy most of the time.
Yeah, you
whereas
can
with
tell.
a cat, it's like,
they're a bit more mysterious.
How do you know if they're happy or not?
And the fact that they like jump up on things kind of scares me, because I'm like, where is it? Where's the cat?
Yeah, they can jump through windows.
And they jump up on top of wardrobes.
Yeah,
like, it's kind of crazy how they do that, because imagine a dog doing that. I guess some dogs must do it, but like, yeah, sometimes I go around people's houses and the cat's just like on top of a wardrobe, and I'm like, how did it get up there?
I know.
Like, it's kind of crazy.
And you would have to make sure more areas of the house were like secure, or like things were put away more. Because with a dog, like as long as it's not on the floor, you're pretty much fine.
Yeah.
But with a cat, they can just get everywhere.
Yeah. And I used to not like on Come Dine With Me where people's cats would be on the kitchen.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been so many episodes where people's cats like sit on the food and come dine with me.
Yeah.
I would love to go on Come Dine With Me. Did you like watching it?
Yeah, I do like
I feel like Come Dine With Me is one of the best like British shows. If anyone out there is American, you need to like go watch it on YouTube.
Can you like sign up to be on it?
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, I've seen it before, like on Facebook. I've seen like advertisements, but it's normally like in a specific town, so it's only like if it was in your local area that you'd be able to sign up. But then I actually think I would get very stressed, and because I'm vegan as well, I feel like it would be awkward because like they would have to cook me a vegan
I don't think
option.
you could do it if you're vegan.
Yeah,
they would have to make a vegan.
I would like to do Come Dine With Me with my friends. People do that. I see on TikTok. People do that. But then I feel like I have a weird like taste in food, so I don't know if everyone would love the same food as that I like.
Well, you could just get a takeaway and pretend.
Yeah,
that
you can't
cooked
get a takeaway and come dine with me. That
could
defeats
pretend
the
that
whole
you cooked
point.
it. Don't they sometimes just like go get stuff, like ready meal stuff from the supermarket.
People used to, I remember like if you like didn't make your own ice cream, it was like a big thing on there. People would like mark you down for the ice cream. I love that episode where he puts the whisk in his mouth. That's the best one. Have you seen that? It's so funny. Or the lady that like served the dinner on the wooden boards.
I don't know.
Or have you seen like the one, you've seen the like the classic one with the man, Grace and Decorum. The Grace and Decorum man.
I don't think I know this.
I feel like you're not up to date with British culture because you live in Australia. You know who's
You'll
like...
have to show it to me.
You have all the Grace and Decorum of a reversing dump truck.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jane. She's like, you're happy, Jane. You won the money. That one. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think you should sign up to go on it.
I really do like niche British like Channel 4 shows. I also used to love watching Dinner Date.
Yeah.
Did you watch Dinner Date?
No.
Dinner Date is basically Come Down With Me, but they go on dates.
Is it like first dates?
They like go to people's houses, but it's very like 2000s. Like all the episodes are so old now that like people's houses look so funny, and like the meals they cook are like always really very like 2000s vibes. But I still like watching Dinner Date. Do you remember like Pod on Channel 4? The Pod show where they do like the makeovers.
Oh, it wasn't called Pod.
What was it called?
It was called Snog Marry Avoid. Yeah,
that was another classic show.
That was good. I did love that.
Yeah. Anyway, I've gone off topic now. Have you seen the show on Channel 4? I think it's Channel 4 called The Doghouse. That is my favourite show at the minute. I love watching it.
I've just seen the only dog show
have you watched
I've
Dogs
seen
Behaving
is that
Badly?
woman. What's she called? Victoria, someone.
Who's that?
It's like is it called It's Me or the Dog or something?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
She's kind of like what's that?
Is it like Super Nanny?
Yeah, it's like Super Nanny but for dogs.
Oh, I haven't seen
and
that.
And she comes round and she just like.
Well, that's like Dogs Behaving Badly with Graham, the man that like tells the dogs off.
Yeah.
No, but The Doghouse, I really like it. It's like it's almost like a dating show. They like match up the families with a dog at like a rescue centre, and then they go to like meet the rescue dog in this like pen, and sometimes they really get on, and sometimes it's sad because the dog's like too anxious. And then like they take them on a walk, and then at the end you get to see like if the dog got adopted by the family.
That's cute.
But sometimes it's sad because they don't get adopted, and then it's like they're still available, and it's like this one rescue centre, so you can actually go on the website.
But surely like as soon as they're on the TV show,
you'd hope so, yeah. And it's really sad sometimes because it's a rescue centre, and like sometimes the dogs have really sad stories, or like they've been like abused and things like that.
I think if I ever got a dog again, I would definitely get a rescue this time, because I feel like now I know what it's like to have a dog, so I feel like I can handle.
I definitely would get a rescue, and I think everyone should get a rescue if you can, because it's so much better, and like there's so many dogs that need homes, and there's so many cute dogs. When you watch that show, you realise like there's so many cute dogs in the rescue places. It's called The Doghouse. I really recommend it. It's so cute. And they have a Doghouse Australia. I've been watching that as well, Australian version. Okay, let's answer some questions. We asked you guys for some questions on Instagram, so let's have a look at what you guys said. If you want to be involved in future episodes, make sure you follow us on Instagram at mybigsisterpodcast.
So someone says, I've just moved in with my boyfriend and he wants to get a dog straight away. I'm not sure if it's the right decision. What do we think about that?
I feel like if you don't know what to do, you should not get a dog.
Yeah.
Although I keep seeing, so I don't know if you've seen this on TikTok, there's a lot of discourse, I don't know if it's just my For You page, about like having kids, and like people's basically saying they're in like their 30s, like women, and they feel like if they're not sure, does that mean they shouldn't have kids? Or if they're like, they kind of have like a feeling both ways, where like they feel like they want to have kids, but then they don't feel fully sure. And then people are like, if you feel at all that you don't want them, don't have them, and like you shouldn't have them. But then some people are like, no, you feel like you do want them, so then like if you're getting older, like maybe you should have them. And yeah, there's always this debate of like, should you do it? Like if you have any doubts, does that mean you shouldn't?
Yeah, well, I think it's the same with the dog, but I feel like the questions are quite different, because like obviously, with the dog, you know, it is a commitment, but it's a 10-year commitment. With kids, it's basically the rest of your life,
and kids cost a lot more than dogs.
So and kids are more like a legally binding thing
with your partner.
But I guess it's kind of the same thing. And for this person, I would say, like, why are they so keen to like immediately get a dog? I think you need to kind of settle in a bit first, and there's so many things about living together that you don't know until you live together.
Yeah.
And you might actually just hate living with them in general,
Definitely.
let alone throwing a dog into the mix and like adding way more stress.
You need to like settle in living with them, even for like 6 months or a year, and then you can think about getting a dog on top.
There's so many things, like how tidy you are. Like if you have different tidiness levels, it can be tricky.
And adding a dog in, like if you're so messy and then there's like food on the floor, or like you know, you're not doing your washing up and you're leaving it, like, you know, like or the dog's gonna come and find it.
Leaving socks on the floor, the dog like, will come and get the socks.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I think just try and talk to your boyfriend and say, can we just move in first for at least a few months, just to like get an idea of it. Yeah. And then, you know, it might be a nice thing to do if you've been together for quite a while and like you know that you're quite serious. Maybe it will be a good idea, but I think you need to live together first.
Yeah, and I think if you both have to be happy. Like, I don't think just one of you can be happy with the decision. Like, you've both got to agree.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, have you seen this taxi cab theory? I keep seeing it on TikTok. It's about like men being ready for a relationship, where it's like, you know, like the London cabs have like the light if they're free, and people say like men, it's just, I don't fully agree with it, but
also, like, why is everything a theory?
I know,
it's really annoying,
and people are like the olive theory, and it's like it does just kind of get a bit too much at the point. It's like, how many like, this is not really a theory.
You can't just call everything a theory. This is not like a
mathematical theory. Like, there's no science behind this theory. Anyway, people on TikTok say that most men, like if they're in their like late 20s, or like, you know, in a age where they're like wanting to commit to a relationship, that men will only commit once they're ready to commit, and like their taxi light is like on to say, I want to get married. And if you're dating someone, say you're like 21 and you're like, yeah, this is it, like we need to get married, but if his light's not on, if in his head he doesn't want to get married yet, even if you're the perfect person and like it's who, you know, he's the sort of person that you should end up together, if his light's not on, he's not going to marry you until it's on. And I think it basically says like men will just marry whoever they're dating when the light turns on, if you see what I mean. I think that's what the theory is.
That's quite depressing.
Yeah, it's basically like, it's just whenever the man is ready to marry someone, it's just like who's in front of them will get married.
I also think that is a little bit like,
it's not always true, but then I think it does apply in a lot of situations where like men maybe have been in a long-term relationship and then the woman leaves because he doesn't propose, and then like 6 months later he starts dating someone and suddenly they're engaged, and it's like, well, what did she have that I didn't? And it's like, actually no, just his light turned on.
Well,
like,
I think
that's the theory. I think that's the theory, if I'm getting that right.
I just wonder if maybe it's just that they weren't that into you the whole time.
But I do think it's true. Like, I think some men will be with the perfect woman and they just don't really realise it, or like want to like be married yet because they're too young. So then they're like, no, I need to live my life first. Yeah. And then it's like, when they're at an age where they feel like they should be married, they just find someone to marry.
I do think it's something to do with the age thing, because I do think it's like that whole thing of the frontal lobe developing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, once you get to a certain age, I guess that's when you might just be ready. Yeah. And I mean, you can't really blame, like, I think that happens with women too. Like, sometimes you're just not ready, and you might just not be with that person at the right time, even if they are the right person for you.
Yeah, and it can be, I think people also say it as like, not just getting married, but like just to be in a relationship. Like, if you're in like a situationship or something, or like friends with benefits, and that man is never ready to actually become boyfriend, girlfriend, but then it's like, when they suddenly decide they want a girlfriend, they'll probably find one, like, and even if you would have been better suited for them than that person they end up with. Yeah. So that's kind of like the theory. I always see it on TikTok all the time.
I just hate that everything's a theory.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
No, but I think it's true. Like, in terms of bringing it back to the dog thing, I think both your dog lights have to be on to get a dog. Like, just one of you can't be wanting a dog. Like, you've both got to agree that you are happy to
That's true.
have one.
Although I think my dog light was shining brighter than my husband's when we got one.
Yeah.
But it worked out fine in the end.
Yeah.
And it's always the person who doesn't want the dog who ends up loving them the most.
Yeah, that's so true.
Becomes the most obsessed with them.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't know why, that's just always happens. So we've got time for one more question. And this is quite an intense one.
Oh.
This person...
I haven't read the responses yet, so I don't know what it's going to say.
So this person says, I want to break up, but we have a dog. what do I do?
Oh no.
And that's what they said.
Yeah.
There's not much detail there, but that is hard.
It's hard, but it's not the end of the world. Like, it's much less deep than if you have kids, and like, yeah. I feel that you could be in a much worse position.
I think it's tricky with, it depends on who out of you feels like it's your dog more.
Yeah, and like whose name is on all the paperwork.
You might actually disagree. Like, they might feel like they're more their dog, and you might feel like it's more your dog.
And it's sad because, like, if they want to take your dog away, like, it might be a situation where you both want the dog, and then, like, they
one
take
of you
it
has
away.
to have no dog,
and like, it's really awkward to like co-parent a dog. Like, I feel like it's not
want to be doing that.
Really gonna work. Like,
because what if you go on to have another partner and you're like, oh sorry, I've got
to go round to my ex's house
co-parenting my dog.
Drop off the dog.
Yeah,
like, it's a lot.
I feel like that does happen with quite a lot.
It does
people,
happen,
though.
Yeah.
Because I understand it. Like, you feel like
your dog you would want to see Winnie
child.
if you split up with your partner. Like, you'd want to see Winnie. Yeah. So.
Or at the very least get like updates, and I think even that could cause issues later on. It's like, why are you texting your ex? Like,
or like, why is your new girlfriend taking my dog on a walk? Like, I feel like there could be so many issues with that. Like,
there's so many things that could go wrong, but I think ultimately you have to just, it sounds harsh, but you almost have to just don't think about the dog for a second and just think about what is right for you.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to factor in the dog into that situation. Like, it is your dog, but ultimately the dog isn't going to be around for the rest of your life.
No.
So you have to make the right decision that is just right for your life. And if that is breaking up, then, you know, the dog thing will sort itself out. But you have to just do what's right for you. You can't stay in a relationship just for a dog.
Yeah. But also, like, you've got to think, well, if you live together as well, like, you always have to, I think, like, have some sort of exit plan of like, okay, I'm maybe in my head. I feel like a lot of women like mentally check out of their relationship before they actually break up, and you want to kind of prepare if it in terms of like finances, if you can't afford to pay for that dog on your own, or even like, you know, if you're moving out of your apartment, like we're saying, you've got to like think about this first. And I know it sounds kind of mean, but maybe like, if you need to, just stay with that person a month or two more and save up some extra money. And like, I think you have got to be smart. You can't just be like, I want to break up with you today, I'm leaving. Like, that's obviously true. Unless you've got lots of money, like lots of savings, maybe you could do that. But I think most people, like, you've got to think about like your exit plan and like what makes sense. And like, yeah, if you've got a lease on an apartment and like, yeah, the dog, like, where's the dog gonna go? If I'm moving in with my friend, or my friend's landlord doesn't let dogs in, so what am I gonna do then? And like, there's so many things you've got to consider. So I think, yeah, trying to like have a plan, ask your family, would they look after the dog for a few weeks while you're moving? Things like that. Like, yeah, because it can be a lot more than just you two breaking up, because you have got to think about the dog and like the finance side of things as well. Yeah,
there's just so much that goes into it, but I'm really sorry you're going through that, and I hope you're going to be okay.
Yeah, hopefully the dog is there for you in the sad times. It is nice to have someone, I guess, like the dog, to be there for you. Yeah. But then it can be just as sad if the dog gets taken away from you at the same time, so it can be hard.
That's tough.
Yeah. Okay. I think that is all we have time for. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode.
It was a bit random.
It only really applies if you have a dog.
Why did we start talking about come dine with me?
I'm not really sure. But yeah, I hope you're all having a really good week. Let us know any topics or any questions you have in the comments. Feel free to DM your dilemmas to mybigsisterpodcast and to email us
at gmail.com.
mybigsisterpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you're all having a really good week. All my socials are at Grace Tutty if you want to give me a follow. Josie, what are yours?
I'm Josie Tutty on Instagram and Josie Violet on TikTok and YouTube.
Lots of knitting content on there at the minute.
If you like knitting content,
go to Josie's account. But yeah, I hope you're all having a really good week, and we will see you next week for another episode.
Bye guys.